Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Oxygen Not Included. In the last episode, we made this very simple rocket that just goes up into space, gets us some more orbital data research, and then comes back down. And that's it. So, actually, as I'm about to do, I'm about to have Bert, once their bath time is done, I'm going to summon them, and we're going to launch the rocket again real quick. All right. Um, so, we're gonna launch this. We're gonna get more data. So we can actually get the big petroleum rocket. And in the background, while I'm doing that, what I'm going to do is build. Yep, here is Bert. Perfect. I need to set the destination, of course. Just go to space and launch. Look at that. It's so cool. Um. Anyways, so I'm gonna keep an eye on the clock because we can't keep her up there for more than a single cycle. Basically, all I'm doing is in the background, I'm going to build an actual space capsule for our dupes to survive in. And, yeah, basically that's it. So we can go to further planetoids. We can have a person up here longer to make more data banks because this will take cycles upon cycles if we have to keep sending them back down. It'd be easier if they could just stay in orbit for a decent amount of cycles and then come and land again. So that's the plan for the episode, and I'm also going to keep Bert doing this at least till we can get the big petroleum rocket. It'd be pretty nice. Not that we necessarily need it for the data research. So I will update when I start working on that bigger rocket. Side tangent, while we are waiting for the new rocket to be built, this is doing fine on temperature again. I'm pretty sure what happened is that, so we were dumping a lot of liquid into here because this was filled up to the brim, and we were just dumping tons of liquid into this room. And now that we're kind of like settled back, we just have our normal input of brine and the occasional other bit from here. It's gotten cooler, or we don't cool this room as fast as we used to by adding as much cool liquid. And so it's gotten warm enough that this door is opened occasionally, which now it's of course not doing, but right here, once this gets to 120, that's when it happens. The steam turbines are all running at max, which is good. So yeah, this is doing fine still. But you can see, if you look at like the temperature down at the end here, these window tiles were formerly, like this one still is, but they were all above 600, probably down to like here still. It's dropped to over 100 degrees. And obviously, since we started this whole project, this whole area has dropped. I mean, it was at 1,200, so it's dropped 600 degrees at the hottest end, it's dropped 600 degrees. At the coldest part, like right around here, it's dropped almost all the way down to what I would almost be willing to dig this rock out, this 300-degree obsidian and igneous rock, and throw it into our steam room. The thermal mass of the steam is going to be way higher than anything this igneous rock or obsidian could possibly be. Anyways, side tangent, up in space, whatever button I put it on. Here, we've built it. This is the second version, V2. This one I'm still sending up every now and again to get more data, whatever they're called. Data chips? I don't remember. Anyways, this is the new rocket. It's max height, so it's going to be kind of a burden on this small petroleum rocket, which is part of why we want the new one so bad. But the main thing is the interior of here is way bigger. We get 80 whole tiles that we can use for this rocket, and so we're going to use probably all this space. We want to have a dupe who's able to be in here pretty much, not permanently, because they're gonna have to come back for food and etc., but for at least a couple cycles without going, insane or dying. Those are the two things that we're trying to manage: stress and the fact that they still need to eat, breathe, go to the bathroom, all that kind of stuff. So we're working on this, and I'm going to start filling the interior of it while I send this rocket again. So on the exterior of the rocket here, we have our gas cargo canister. we're going to fill this with oxygen using one of these rocket port loaders. Now, I do have to bring both power and oxygen, obviously, up here now. Thankfully, we're pretty damn close to our base, so we're just going to run the oxygen from our, oxygen factory here. Probably run off, like, this line, maybe. It looks pretty unused comparatively to the other ones. And we'll just run power from somewhere, like, I don't know, like this heavy watt, maybe we'll just bring it up itself. I don't know how much power I'm going to be needing up in the space area itself, though. Anyways, I could always just also put down, like, a solar panel, but I like having things connected to the same grid for ease of my own sanity. Okay. Now, I know this looks like a lot, and it is, but this is the plan for now. I'm going to build this. We're going to launch it. We're going to test out how long it takes for the dupe to go insane. I will explain everything of it, and then a few, like, minor changes and alterations I might end up making based on different things that happen. But you can see it's got a lot here, and almost every tile is filled up with something. I'll explain more when I finish building it, but we'll see. There's definitely going to be changes, I'm sure, and things I figure out along the way, but this is the general plan for right now. Okay, so it has all been built, and quick run through. So this is basically just meant to get us as many databanks as we can. Hold on, I want to check something. How much? Yeah, okay. So in here, we have, if you look at the room overlay, we have a washroom, a barracks, and a mess hall. That'll give us +6 morale just off of that. And then this is where we stuffed all the industrial machinery, and this room too. Like the other side rooms, since we can't put it in these. For the bathroom, we're just using a wall toilet, and then we're using a hand sanitizer station. This will require bleach stone, and I'll get to how I intend to either... I'm going to try to avoid any bleach stone off-gassing to chlorine entirely, but if some does, it won't be a problem based on how I've set this up. Then in the mess hall, it's pretty simple. We're just going to feed them. I was thinking probably... I would want to give them sushi rolls so they can have actually good morale while on board, but I don't know if they're going to be able to... I might switch it to something like cooked seafood or something, just because we're a little bit low on our... just in general of sushi roll. We have only 11,000 kcals of it. I need to work on improving the amount of those that we make. And how quickly we make it, because they dupes obviously eat it super fast since it's the best food they have. And cooked seafood, it's not a bad food, so I could stock like as much of it as I want in here, because we have so much cooked seafood, it's not even funny. Same with barbecue. I could do either cooked seafood or barbecue, but cooked seafood will give radiation resistance, and that's probably a bit better, since that's the one thing that I haven't really dealt with on here, and we'll get to that in a second as well. We're using 2 ladder beds. This could theoretically hold 2 dupes on it. I don't know when I'm ever going to need 2 dupes. Maybe I could have like a rocket pilot and a researcher if morale becomes an issue and they start getting stressed. I'll reset 2 of them, and we'll just give 1 rocket piloting and the other 1 researching. And then another bit. So the toilet is fed just by a long pipe that we're slowly building. Here, it goes back to the base's water input, and that will fill up our toilet, essentially. If they ever run out of... Hold on, that was decor. If they ever run out of this amount of water, then they're already probably dead. So, not a big problem. And then, for oxygen, so, we are pumping in here. We're pumping in oxygen from our external gas cargo storage. We have so much oxygen in here, I don't think it will end up being a problem. And that'll just fill this up to 2 kgs, the entire space. And then for CO2, what I'm going to do, or this could also be chlorine. This is how I said we could deal with bleach stone. I have a gas element sensor here that does detect carbon dioxide. And when it does that, then it will turn on this mini gas pump over in the corner here, and that'll send it up to this gas filter. And we'll send the oxygen back in, and then everything else will get dumped out of the spacecraft. And I know that the sensor is really far away from the actual gas pump. My solution to that is a buffer gate. So, and I might make this more like 10 seconds maybe. So it just means the gas pump will run for 10 seconds every time this detects CO2. Yeah. And then final last things, we have a storage tile. These are amazing. I love these. Whenever they added these, I don't remember or know. This is incredible. I love it. We just have our plastic for the orbital data collection in here to make the data banks. And then this storage bin here will be for bleach stone. And that's why I want everything in here to be over 2 kgs of oxygen at all times, is because that'll stop the bleach stone from off-gassing. But the problem is, if every time they breathe out a little tiny bit, there's going to be some amount of carbon dioxide in here, and it's going to be in a really small amount, and the second it goes over the storage bin, all the bleach stone is going to start off-gassing. That's why we have the filter setup, so that oxygen is the thing we're filtering for, and not like CO2 to dump it out of the craft. Okay, I think that's pretty much everything. Last thing, oh, here comes the water. And here comes an autosave. Gotta love it. Last thing. So radiation. It's pretty intense, obviously. They're in space. And I have... my main thing I'm going to do about it is feed them probably a seafood diet. I think sushi roll might still count for seafood diet. I need to check that. And the other thing is I think I'm going to make some... I've never used these once in my entire life, but I'm going to make some basic rad pills, and I'll just make them take the fat rad pills while they're up in space, just every day. Should help a little bit. But yeah, I think this is pretty much ready. We just need to wait for, like, this to get stocked. Probably need a bit more than... well, this only uses 70 grams per use. Or no, wait, this only uses... yeah, this only uses 70 grams... bleach stone, so 1 kg could last us, like, math is difficult, but, like, a little over 10 cycles. For our first test, that's pretty good. I might just leave 1 kg. Okay, there we go. Nothing off-gassed, because it is still over 2 kgs in here, but once we put someone in here, it probably won't be anymore. Great, they finally filled up the plastic bin. Okay. And let me go read and figure out which food, and then we can try to launch this for our first episode. Okay, I was looking to see what the problem was with with sushi rolls and nigiri, and it's... the problem is obviously not nori or fish fillet. Let's put it that way. And the problem is lice loaf, amazingly, and lice loaf is being limited by meal lice. We don't have enough meal lice we're growing. I don't know how that's even possible. Actually, I do. It's because we only have 2 little farms, and there's only 34 meal lice that we actually grow. So I'm going to expand out these farms real quick, and I'm gonna, because I really want to feed them on this ship. I want to feed them sushi rolls at least, because it is an aquatic diet. I just looked it up, and it's way better. Well, it's for more morale than cooked seafood is. So we're going to try to use that. Let me expand out these farms. Thankfully, meal wood is the easiest crop in the entire game to make. One more side tangent. In case anybody was wondering and curious why I haven't built bunker tiles or bunker doors over these rockets, it's because rocket platforms and all of this stuff are immune to rocket explosions and impacts. So I'll just dig it out once it happens. I mean, I could do the whole thing where I, like, build across and try to stop it and open the doors when there's one coming, but it's just like, do I need to? I don't really need to. I can just wait for it and then mine it out when it happens. They're infrequent. So, nice and easy here. Okay. The ship is all loaded up. It's all ready to go. I ended up putting in nigiri. It's a really good food. So it'll add a lot of morale. Speaking of morale, I forgot to show the decor overlay in here. It's 120. Oh, it's not right there though. I was about to say it's 120 everywhere, but it's not right here in this tiny little corner. Everywhere else though, it is 120, and there's some window tiles that help make things better. Surprised. It used to be 120. Maybe this window tile here is less efficient than a carpeted tile. Anyways, that's the level of min-maxing that I'll eventually get to, but for this first ship test, I don't think I need it. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take Bert, and we're going to put them up onto the actual ship. We're just going to test with Bert at first, and we'll see how it goes. We'll wait till it's the start of their schedule, just so that it'll be best for them, but still, they're going to try to be up there for a couple cycles, see if they go insane, you know, their stress gets too high. Bert is probably the most skilled up dupe, which is probably not great. They need 20 morale based on all of this stuff that they've got, but hey, we'll see. I might have, with the food that I put in here, it might be up to 20 morale. This stuff, it adds, I think, plus 16 to morale. And then we have all the rooms in here, so they'll have over 20 morale. Ooh. Shoot. Rad pills. I forgot about rad pills. I think I'm going to test without rad pills first and see if they can, because they get rid of radiation when they use the toilet. I want to see if that's enough or if they'll slowly build up radiation while they're up in orbit. Yeah. Cut to when they are. Okay, we have Bert is on board, and we're going to set the destination to right here, and we're going to set it was just complaining about like breathability and all that in here. We're going to get them to unequip the suit, and then, well, all of this stuff we'll put to no restrictions. Well, I guess while grounded, so we'll just launch the rocket and then do all that stuff. So, yeah, cargo transfer is not complete. We haven't fully filled the gas cargo canister with oxygen because it's so much oxygen that you have to fill up. So we're just going to acknowledge the warning, and we're going to launch them. Here we go. Look at that. Such a cool rocket. And off into space. Okay, so let's look at the interior here. Let's first, Bert, drop your suit. You don't need it in here. You've got oxygen. So there's a little bit of carbon dioxide. You can see that, and that just turned on the gas pump. Hopefully that doesn't happen too often. I'm sure there's something I'll have to do about that, but oh yeah, and here let's do this so that they actually start getting to work, since that's the whole goal here. Oh, you can see a little bit of chlorine tried to off gas maybe, but didn't end up. Okay, I'm gonna let this run for a little bit and see how things go. They're gonna be up here for, you know, multiple cycles, just making data banks, probably till they run out of plastic. Did we just dump a little bit of CO2? Yep, we are dumping CO2. Great. Things are coming along. Oh yeah, a bit of chlorine off gas from the bleach dump. We'll see if it's a problem or not. I doubt it will be, but who knows. Like right now, it's about to be picked up by this. The sensor's going to detect the CO2 and then suck up the chlorine. And then the other thing to note is their rad dose. I am curious They recover them when using the toilet. I don't remember how many rads they lose when they use the toilet. I think it's like 100 or something. We'll see. Oh, oxygen. Not in the slightest. Are you insane? Okay. I'm going to let this run and come back if there's any problems or if things are going well. The first meal ever eaten aboard a spacecraft, and it's some amazing calamari sushi. And right back to work. Really? It's your downtime. You don't have to be doing that. You can. I'm fine with it. Okay, I did just get a warning that the exposure levels are above safe limits for radiation. There are over 50 rads this cycle. We're about to see. I think it's nearing the end. Yeah. Once they go to the bathroom, we'll see if they get rid of all the rads that they've accumulated. This has been like a full cycle they've been up in space. Good thing, though. I think they might have higher morale here on the spaceship than they did down on the planet, which is, that says something about what I need to do on the planet then, doesn't it? Okay, so here they are going to the bathroom. Yeah, I went back down to 0 rads. I don't think... Did they start getting, like, a debuff or anything from the radiation? I don't think so. I don't think you start getting debuffs from radiation until you're, like, over a certain high amount. Anyways, things are working very well. Gases are getting absorbed. They're eating their food. All this food should be 100% fresh from... Well, it's not. It must have been... It's probably been taken out of the fridge back at the base over and over and over again, and then put back in once the dupes don't eat all of it. Anyways, you can see the sleeping is also going well, but they do get quite a few more rads up at the top here. So it's better for their workstation to be down at the bottom. Although I did put them right in the like highest radiation tile, didn't I? That's all right. Things are still going well. I'll keep watching it though until they keep making more data banks for me. One other thing to note here is that temperature. This does produce a little bit of heat while it's running, 625 DTU per second. So it's getting slightly warmer in here, but the big thing to remember is that behind all of everything in this entire craft, we have this entire mass of water just sitting here. And these are all regular liquid pipes, so it's all of this water can absorb the heat. So I'm not too worried about heat in here because we have just so much water. That was my main thought about it. Especially as well as like when this thing lands, all the oxygen that gets pumped in is also going to be around 20-30 degrees. So I think I can view this. Can't see the temperature of it, but that's like we have so many. We're just fine. We're completely fine on all that, on temperature and whatever. And this is working extremely well. We've made 64 databanks so far using this little ship. It does get to the radiation like thing here, which don't know why. They're literally sticker bombing. They have so much morale. That's hilarious. Yeah, I mean they're doing great, having a good old time up in space, and I'm just gonna let them sit up here for a little bit longer till they finish out this plastic. But I'm gonna do that off camera, and I'm gonna end this episode here. Everybody, thanks everybody for watching, and see you next time. Oh well, wait one more second. Okay, I do want to say what we're gonna try to do next episode is probably take this rocket and go and try to explore some of these unknown objects and things like that. Start actually doing the space content of this game. What I'm going to do between episodes is research this so we can get the Rio petroleum engine, so we can do that even easier. With this spaceship, it'll be no problem. And with that, thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you all next time.